Yeah, you can hear me, right? Hello?
I could do, yeah.
Yeah. So I've recently been working with Bank of America as a software test engineer uh, since October 2016, and I was a manual tester over there, and I was basically testing the functionality of one of the one of the points uh, in their website. So that's what I've been working on. And before that, I had been working with USA Today. I started working over there uh, in 2012. I've worked over there for a little bit, around 4 years or something. And I also did uh, functional testing over there. It involved everything like test planning, test plans, uh, test scenarios, test scripts, and whatnot. So I also did a little bit of work over there in QDP, involving VB scripts and all. And before that, I was with a little bit, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation as software tester. So that's what I've been dealing with for last 6 years or so. So you have any questions in particular?
Yeah, if you could elaborate on your current role in Bank of America, what is it that you do there? What is uh, give us a little bit of background about the application and the responsibility you carry out every at that role.
Okay. So what I've been working with Bank of America is one of the points on their website. Uh, I would say on the credit card, uh, you know, uh, credit card side, credit card. Just give me a moment. So if you go to the credit card tab, so I've been working and I've been testing the functional testing. I've been testing functional testing for that particular uh, panel. And yeah, you can hear me, right?
I hear you fine. Please continue.
Okay. So I've been testing functionally testing the credit card point on their website. So that's what I've been working on. Making test cases, test scenarios, test strategy, test plans. Document defects. Uh, Submit it to the appropriate developer. Tell the appropriate developer, and you know test scripts, develop developing and executing test scripts uh, using ALM, and planning and developing test plans and all. So that's what it is.
How many team member are there?
The team members, I would say, are six.
There's 6 team members. Okay.
Yeah.
Who are the team members?
Team members are, some of the QAs, and then, what is that called? A second. Uh, the quality uh, business analyst, business analyst, and as well as what is that? Uh, Support members. So that's what they are.
Zeshaan, let's
Yeah.
cut the interview short. Okay. Let me
Okay.
ask you a question. What's going on? Are you studying?
Yeah, I'm studying. I'm studying. Actually, that's why I've been coming after you to take my interviews because this is exactly what's been happening in the interviews. That is why I've been telling you because they ask me what kind of environment is there, how many team members are there, and I'm confused that how many exactly because I've been going over the videos I got from Zeshaan, and I was studying that SQL and everything, so I couldn't get to the final
Okay,
part of the interview.
forget.
Yeah,
Why are you so nervous? You talk to me every other day. Why are you so nervous?
I'm not nervous. What do you mean
You're
I'm not
not.
nervous?
You're not delivering any certainty. You're mumbling. There's, that's all I have done. That's just a very negative point in an interview. First of all, you interviewed like 4 minutes and you paused so many times. You're I think when I spoke to you before, I told you when there's why is there so much background noise in your? Can you mute the background noise?
Oh, I see. Just a little. Let me do that.
So the big opportunity you have in an interview, the biggest you have Jishan on an interview is tell me yourself. I
Is
asked
it
you,
better now?
tell me yourself.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's better. Okay, thank you. No, it was just the
So
background noise.
the thing was, I was confused because I wasn't clear about what to exactly say. I knew the
I
answer
asked,
somewhat. Yeah.
I asked you, tell me about yourself, your background. Right? Who is Jishan Khan? We're hiring Jishan Khan. We want to know who is Jishan Khan. I have a resume in front of me that tells me you are 7 years experience. I have a resume in front that tells me you are Jishan Khan. But who is Jishan Khan from your mouth? I want to hear from your lips.
Zeshaan Khan is a manual tester who's got 6+ years of experience.
Okay. Yes. So that was your biggest sales pitch. Tell me about yourself. That you have to sell yourself there. You have to sell yourself really hard. Yeah, because that's the point. That's 80% of the interview is done there. When you sell yourself, tell me about yourself. All the other
Uh,
question is relevant because you know what do you do? The first question they ask you is, I asked you, Deshaun, can you please give me background? Can you please give me background of yourself? Can you please tell us who you are? You could have, you sell us Jishan Khan. Like Jishan Khan is a software tester who's a superstar tester who's been doing software testing over 7+6 years, who knows test automation, use tools like Quality Center, use tools like QTP. So you have to even the tell me by yourself script that I gave you, you're not.
right.
Did you start tell me by yourself?
Tell me about yourself was in the interview questions. It
I
wasn't
asked
there,
you
right?
to. Yes, it was. I sent you 3 times.
No, you
It's
sent me
it's
an
it's
interview
it's
book,
yeah, but tell me about this on my blog also.
but it was just in the QA book was just about the what is QA testing, quality assurance,
Okay.
creating a test plan.
Please take note right now. Tell me by yourself is the most important question. You need to be thorough. You need to deliver certainty. Your interview lasted 3 minutes. This interview, if you deliver, if you talk the way the cert, there's no your voice. I didn't get certainty from you. All I heard was you were nervous. You sounded like it never worked. You sounded like paused or you're distracted. Like I would hang up the phone on you if I'm on the other side of the phone because I'm not getting certainty from Dishan Khan. I'm trying to hire you and you're not making me nervous over the phone. So how do I bring you on board to do a job every day for me?
Exactly. That's what I've been worried about, because that's what I was confused about, and uh, I was trying to work on it. You know, I have been trying to do that.
Okay, I'm going to send you a document. It's going to say tell me about yourself. You need to study that thoroughly. Like you know how you study Quran? You study Quran like did you go to madrasa back home?
Yeah.
They you know
I'm
they
I'm
make you
a
memorize it?
I'm a Hafiz Quran too, bro.
Okay, Alhamdulillah, that's good, man. Now become Hafiz in QA. So you need to study this thoroughly, please.
Alright.
When I said tell me about yourself, you look at your resume.
Uh,
You said I am Jishan. Okay, you said I am Jishan. Okay, first thing you said I am Jishan Khan. please
Okay.
be formal. Say, okay, thank you so and so, uh, thank you Rickard, or thank you Chuck Schrader, or thank you Laura Lewandowski. Address the person's name. In this country, they don't have bhaiya or address their name. They like to be
Okay.
addressed. That's being formal. So say, okay, thank you Chuck, thank you sir, thank you for giving me this opportunity to tell me about myself, because they're taking the time away from their busy day to give you an opportunity to hire you. So you said, thank you for giving me this
Exactly.
opportunity. I am Zeshaan Khan. I have over 5 years of experience as working as a QA lead. And then you talk about, I mean, your strength, your communication strength. I have good communication and, uh, well, I'll send you the test script. Basically, I don't think you should go into communication, then you would get stuck. Say that, I've been working in various software platform like Windows 95, Windows 2000, Windows XP. I have tested application and developed in Java, C Sharp. So that gives them a bit of technical background you have done. And tested web application, manual application, and standalone application. Then you, so the second part is you talk about as a QA person what you have done. He says a QA person, I'm going to send you this. It's in my blog already. I think I have already sent you, but I'm just taking notes. Tell me by yourself. You should, this is how you do it. First, you talk about the first paragraph should be, these are the bullet points. And, you know, you, you thank them, and then you tell them in my QA career, I've been working with various system platform, different platform like Windows 95, Windows 2000, Windows XP, Windows and Unix. I have tested applications that are developed in .NET, C Sharp, Java, Visual Basic. I have tested web-based application and standalone application. Here's the thing: you don't stop till they make you stop. They will stop you, because this is your biggest sales pitch of the interview.
Right.
Your interview is gonna last 10 minutes. Your interview is gonna last 30 minutes. You're supposed to kill 12 minutes. 12 minutes talking. Tell me about yourself. At least 10 minutes. Just talk with the flow. You see the do you feel certainty when I talk to you? Do you see the certainty, like the confidence, the strength,
Yeah.
that you need to deliver that, because the person is not seeing you and they're hearing you over the phone, and if they're getting a vibe that you're nervous, and you're pausing, you're like, that's all I, so they're just not gonna feel, they're not gonna, they're gonna be they'll be nervous themselves. There's no certainty. There needs to be certainty. It's everything. When somebody calls you, they need to deliver certainty. you know
Well, I think
you
that's just the basic stuff. I mean, anybody should be able to would be able to say that. But
right,
when
exactly.
they ask the in-depth questions like how did you do it, and how was the environment over there, and what was your team size, and what were the personnel, that's where
Okay,
you need
so
to think,
I'll
right?
I'll answer all that question. The second point, you talk about as a QA person what you have done. You said as a QA person, I have written test plan documents. I have written test plan test cases. I have executed test cases. I worked with business analysts to get my test cases peer reviewed with them. I have to get my requirements clarified with them, attended requirement review meetings. I provided feedback to business analysts. I tested different databases like Oracle, DB2, SQL. I written SQL queries. I written outer joins, inner joins. This is, this, like, this should be the highlight. You should look like a superstar here. So,
Right.
and then you talk about testing. You said, I tested a lot. I have performed a lot of different testing in the application I worked on, because what you're doing, you're covering 7 years in this summary, doing a summary of your 7 years career, like a personal, the tester you
Right.
were. So you talk about, I was involved in a lot of different testing, like functional testing, backend testing, black box testing, integration testing, regression testing, UAT testing. So you talk about that, and then you talk about, I have found a lot of with use. I have managed, and I have found, whenever I encounter defects, I have managed them using tools like Jira, Quality Center, ClearQuest, and then you talk about TFS. And I also, attended a bug review meeting. I attended a bug postmortem. Pardon, they have something called, don't say that, bug postmortem. So, and
Right.
then they have something called postmortem meeting, bug postmortem meeting. But I could go into that, because I have experience, and I have done that so many times. I recall it
Right.
easily. And then So, so the second question that after you say that, usually they'll tell you they'll jump on your Bank of America project. Okay, 100,
Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
110% of the time they'll jump on your
that's
Bank of
where
America. Uh-huh.
that's where they kill me. That's where they kill me. So that's where I get stuck. When they ask me that what is the exact project you've been working on and how was the environment over there, what was your team size, and what was the thing you were working on exactly, and how did you do it? That's
Okay.
that's where I get
So,
stuck.
did you make a summary what Bank of America is?
Yeah, I did for a little bit, but I couldn't really find the exact answers to those questions which they're asking. That like how was the environment over there? What was your team size? So who do I
How is
add in my team?
how is the environment? I mean, the environment. Hello.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
sorry about that. Apologize. Um, I mean, if they ask you how is the environment in you tell them the environment was the high fast pace. I reported to my project managers. We had three QA, two developers. We have one business analyst and one PM. Write that down.
Okay,
So we had one project manager, we had one business analyst, three QA,
okay. And two developers.
two developers. Yes.
Okay,
Okay. So, and you need to have your story right. Look, right in front of you. I don't know anything about Bank of America. I'm gonna search Bank of America right now. Bank
right.
of America. I don't know anything about Bank of America. Okay, I don't bank with them. I don't. I bank with Citibank. You go here. Okay. You look at. I told you pick up an option. Like you worked on auto loans, or which option did you pick?
Credit cards.
Why would you pick up credit cards? Everybody knows about credit card. What did you pick up on credit cards? Which
Because
section?
I just like the word credit.
The what?
That's why. I just like the word credit.
World credit?
I just like the word credit. Just like the
Credit?
word. Yeah.
No, you need to. I mean, I mean, you gotta understand. If everybody knows about credit card, you talk about credit card. You need to choose something like investing. Not everybody understands investing or auto loans.
Yeah.
So
Investing.
credit card would not be a good option. So what did you write on credit card? What's your story? What's the application about?
For the credit cards, I was just saying that I've been working on one of the sections on the travel and airline rewards and cash reward credit cards,
Don't
and
say
I was
okay. What you just said,
yeah.
one of the section it's there. Don't say that. That's a wrong thing
Okay,
to say. You need to be more specific. Like what function? Which function? What's the business? It's you worked on a business case. What's the business story?
right. So that's what I was getting at. Like, if you talk about this, credit card section, then I was basically testing the functionality of that section.
More details. I need more. What were you testing there?
That's that's the farthest I could go. That was my issue. I had to dig deeper, but I couldn't go any more deeper. So I was just until the functionality I could kill it. Otherwise, if you go further
If you
deep, then
if you say one sentence, look at even on your resume. It says a story. Bank of America is a diversified financial services broad range, the web-based application developed allowing accounts holders to perform online transactions such as accessing personal accounts, transfer an account, pay bills, checking balance, detailed reports business solution. The application updates the account details. So you need a story. How come you don't have a story? Like you said I worked on the credit card part. That's not a
right.
story. Like, what is the credit card function? What is it doing? What is it? Do you guys extend certain percentage of credit card with certain interest rate? Would you offer like introductory 18 months program credit card? Like you worked on a program. What's the program about?
So
Are you,
that's what it is, like the functioning of the credit card, like how the credit card does, how the credit card works, how the credit card rolls.
but
That's
no,
what it
you
is.
need, but you that's not that you can't say that functioning of the credit card. You need to elaborate. You need to elaborate on what the functionalities were, the functions you worked on. Like you followed Agile Scrum. You guys developed an application. You worked there from October 2016 to
Right.
present time. So just to say that it's a credit card functionality, that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working on, so I know pretty much everything about it. So that is the crux of it, that is the gist of it. That's just the functionality. That's it. It includes everything.
Okay, good. All right, listen, Jishan, you need to come up with the story like with for Bank of America. So let me send you a sample, right? How you write about projects. Let me send you this right now. So
And
first, go ahead.
you you said that my team at BOFA was like a project manager, business analyst, and three QAs. The QA were QA testers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then two developers.
Two developers, one BA, three QA.
Okay. So when I said 10 people, that was like too much people, too many people.
No, people. I worked in a team of 300 people, but you cannot say
Oh,
that because they'll catch you. You're right now you're stuttering, saying, explaining what the project is about. Tell me about your project is about, or the two important
exactly.
things. You need to
Yeah.
close it. Like you're not closing the deal. You break deal before you could close. So you
Right,
lose.
right,
You
right.
lose. You need to do. You gotta keep points. Like your points. Look, you get your most of your points from tell me about yourself. That's your summary. And then they'll focus on your projects. They're not going to focus on how many members you have, what the what the roles and responsibilities. They'll probably drill in, but not that much.
Actually,
But
I've so far, I've given almost like up to three interviews, and none of the interviews had this question that tell me about yourself. How to begin was, they would just jump down into my resume and they would just start asking me that, uh, you said you were working in Agile, Scrum, and Sprint development process. So how was it like? How did it function, and what was your role in it? So that's how they were asking me.
okay, ask.
That
Are
yeah,
you writing the questions down? That-
yeah. I mean, I know the questions that once you just start with the resume. So you see this my responsibility in the Bank of America. In the first responsibility is testing the application in Agile, Scrum, and Sprint development process. So I know what this is, but how they were asking me the questions, that what really struck me. Like, I mean,
Okay,
uh,
ask me.
how do I have
I
to?
mean, ask me what the question they asked you.
The question they asked me was that you have mentioned Agile, Scrum, and Sprint development process while you were working in Bank of America, right? So
Hmm.
tell us that what is Agile, Scrum, and Sprint, and what was your role in it, and how did it function, and what is it exactly? So they basically they threw me through too many questions, simultaneously at me. So that's how it was.
With the Indians?
No, no, no. She was
Okay.
she was an Indian. Yeah, she was probably uh,
All right. So she
yeah.
asked you a valid question. So here you said you tested application Agile Scrum. So you should know what is Agile. So first thing you said we worked on Agile software development. Agile is an what is Agile? It's a software development methodology is based on iterative for requirements broken down into solutions that we collaborate, and there's a lot of communication with clients and with the end client, with the PM, with testers and the VA. There's more meetings. So the methodology we followed was a Scrum, the subset of Agile, right? So
Yeah.
we mostly focused on a framework, which particularly practices followed in order to process consistent with framework. Like Scrum framework requires use of development cycles of sprints. We use 2 week sprints. Each of our sprints were 2 weeks. So things we as I was one of the, since I was a tester and I was a QA in the Scrum. The the 2 week sprint, the functionality I got to test if the developer developed it and he passed it on to me. I tested in 2 weeks. Whatever I didn't finish in 2 weeks, it's into methodology and moved on to the next sprint. We have sprint 2, sprint 3. We have up to sprint. We every releases could go up to sprint of 14 to 15 sprints.
Oh, so you see, this is complex, right? This is not
No,
easy.
but you're not studying. You're not studying agile. Agile. Look, I told you study the bullet points in your resume. You're doing this full time. How come you need to like understand what is agile scrum?
No, I did go through the Agile Scrum, but the thing was, I couldn't really elaborate to this extent.
You you
So
learn, so like learning, right? It's fine. You're learning right now. So you just so whatever he asks you, it's a valid question. So you
right.
gotta look at uh, agile scrum has a scrum master who's a BA. Instead of business analyst, you have a scrum master. Every day we have a stand-up meeting. So there's a
Okay.
10-minute video on agile. If you look up that, you'll have all the information.
So what is the basic difference between Agile and Scrum and Sprint? Sprint I know is a short period of iterations,
Iteration.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So what is the difference between these three?
Well, agile is so you have in agile methodology you have different different way of doing agile. Scrum is the most then you have extreme programming. So it basically it fits in with the software development that you're trying to do. Most of the companies, 90% of the companies uses Scrum instead of using extreme programming, instead of using DevOps. There's a lot of them. It's DevOps, lean agile, lean Scrum. There's SCMAT, and there's UP, there's V model, there's XP, there's MS. So there's so many methodologies. These are framework within agile. The most popular framework is Scrum, and you got to study what is Scrum. Scrum we have daily Scrum stand up meetings where you give 3 updates you did yesterday, what you're doing today, and if you have blockers.
Right, right. So
So
basically, Scrum is a part of Agile.
right, exactly. Scrum is a frame within Agile, and just like that, they have other framework such as
Okay.
ASD, DevOps, DSDM, FDD, IDD, Kanban, Lean SD, MD. There's so many frameworks. Scrum is the most popular one. I don't even use Agile Scrum in my company, and look how many things I just told you.
Because you've been in this for a very long time, and
No, but it's
you've
not
done
that.
your
But it's not. You're not studying. I could tell, man. And you're doing this full time. Like when I was in your shoe, I used to study everything. I used to study like read everything. You need to read stuff. You're not
I've been
reading.
I've been
You
I've
just
been
need
reading and I'm also watching the videos. I've been doing both the things.
look. You need to break.
Yeah.
Okay, look. You need to break things down, right? So you have SDLC. What is SDLC? You have software development lifecycle. You have waterfall. You have iterative. You have agile. You have V model. Those are 4 methodologies that you have. Within those 4 methodologies, you need to bring things down. Okay, what is software development like? Software development process develop a developing process develop a proper software to deploy to production, deploy to public software. Developing process develop a proper software, a bug-free software. So you have one story, right? Then you do agile. What is agile? Agile is an approach which describes requirements to do collaboration and effort and things like that. So you have one story, another story. Within agile, you have Scrum. What is Scrum? Scrum is a sprint sprint broken down methodology. Like some at least 2 to 3 times. All you could do is take Word document, everything I highlighted, study that like software testing, quality assurance, development. What is development? What is software development life cycle? What is waterfall? What is iterative? That's all in your resume. Agile Scrum, STLC, QA, QC, quality control, business requirement documents, specification, design documents. So you need to then you could ask me, can you please let me know can you please share with me what's a design document? What's a documentation? What is evaluation, reporting skills? Like you could ask those questions and you'll have clarification. In that, When they ask you when the interview comes up and they ask you a question, your brain will automatically pick up because you already took notes on it.
I've been taking notes. So one more question, like, what was the environment of Agile, Scrum, and Sprint in Bank of America? How was the environment? That was the question.
So the environment is that we have. So you need to, like I said, I don't use Agile in my company right now. We have in Agile
Okay.
usually that they have backlogs, right? They have product backlog and they have user stories, and every user's what they do, the requirements, the main requirement is called an epic. The epic is broken down into subset of user stories, and
Right.
all. So the user stories we had product backlog in order, and you could say in order to do all this, we used tools like Jira, or you could say we used tools like uh you could use tools like IBM Rational Jazz.
Uh huh.
If that's using Bank of America, or you could say we are using what you have you have Quality Center, right? So let's just say
Right.
that we managed all this using Quality Center. That's fine also. You could say that. That's
Okay.
not bad. So you managed R6 Excel sheet. So you need to study Agile thoroughly. Like what is you need to like, so we had product backlog, where the product backlog is all the requirements we have, and Epic. We have Epic with Epic into sub Epic. You break the sub. If the requirements are, it's not only one requirement. You just should be able to go
Uh huh.
to Netflix and watch a video. There's so much, right? There's so many movies, there's documentaries, there's categories, right? So it's broken down into so many categories, so many different sets of things that you could do in Netflix. Netflix is one environment, but so much you could do. So in order to build, they didn't build. So we had a lot of different requirements. We had product backlog. Product backlog is where we kept all the requirements, and we broke the epic into sub epic into user stories, and those user stories became user scenarios, and those scenarios become test cases. You won't know this unless you study Agile.
Right. 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 I mean, I've studied Agile, but I'm gonna go through it thoroughly once again. I've studied.
After I told
Uh,
you, it will hit. It will, you now your brain is familiar with these words. So now after you see these words, your brain will like quickly recognize what the words are, what they are aware.
uh,
Like you'll quickly pick up on them.
right. And also, like, they asked me that how was the environment? How was the environment, working environment for USA Today different than Bank of America? That was the question.
So what you could say that Bank of USA today, the environment was a little bit the environment was a little bit laid back compared to a Bank of America. Bank of America is very high, fast paced, where given requirements and requirements are converted into uh, testing functions in a quick short span of time. I have to test it in each sprint, and I have to make sure that I try to cover in 2 week sprint the function they're given to me. So, and this is this the environment in US today was not this high, fast pace how it is in Bank of America. Usually commercial banks are very high, fast pace. So you're just, I mean, when they talk about environments, the difference is that all you're trying to say is that the requirements are developed quicker into testing function, and you're testing it and you're deploying it to production quicker in a short span of time compared to what you did for USA today.
Oh, okay. My response was somewhat similar to yours. That's what I said because that was a little bit light paced. That was a little bit, slow as compared to Bank of America. So, and then they asked me, how did you create the test plans?
You created the test plan based on the requirement document, based on the schedule requirement documents.
Who gave you the requirement documents?
The business analyst gave you the requirement document. It's on the SharePoint. You looked it up. It's always on the company. Every company has a share folder, SharePoint, and it always stays on the SharePoint.
Okay, and like, how was the team in USA Today different than the team in Bank of America? Did you have a
They're
team in
I,
USA Today?
they're asking questions, but anyway, U.S. the difference were that teams were We had a smaller team. I have a bigger team here. Or you go say I had a bigger team. I was not a leading tester. Here I'm more of a leading tester. I'm given
in
more
Bank of America.
Bank of America.
I see. Right. And then they say that how did you review the automation scripts?
How did you run the automation scripts?
How did you review
Oh, you review them manually through QTP.
QTP?
Automation script. Yeah, you have QTP there. You have
You also have Selenium, right? Selenium.
I didn't put Selenium.
Yeah,
I,
Selenium is not there.
you want me to put Selenium?
No. That's all right. I think this is more than enough for me.
They're already giving you a hard time, huh? For put
Yeah.
Selenium, they'll just drive. They'll come to your house, be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
answer this question."
So right. So
You
they say
listen
that
to the
yeah.
confidence.
Also, one more question.
Uh-huh.
They asked me that what did you and how did you get the what and how did you get the requirement traceability metrics?
Requirement traceability matrix is nothing but tracing the requirement. So what I'm doing is let me dial in so I could actually go to my so the requirement document requirement traceability matrix, it's a document that tells you which requirements link to what test case, and how many bugs are logged to that requirement, and how many requirements has been passed. And I think I also gave you a definition of what an requirement traceability matrix is.
Yeah, you did, but in the actual working scenario and in the actual usage, that's a different definition. That should be different definition, right?
I'm sorry.
I'm saying that when we talk about the real scenario, the actual scenario, the actual working scenario, then over there the definition should be different for requirement traceability metrics because they were asking me the use and how did you get it, what did you get out of it, and then all those kind of you know
Well,
questions.
the requirement traceability matrix, as it says, it's a requirement traceability matrix. What you do, it's a matrix that tells you how many requirements has been, how many test case has been verified by test case. You have a requirements. You have say 20 requirement test case. So all requirement traceability matrix is like a report that you get to you. I think I could show you requirement traceability. It's a report that tells you. I'm going to give you a sample template. I'm going to show you
Okay.
the template. Okay, so matrix
So when we
traceability
talk
matrix
about
tells you how many
uh
requirements has been by your test case, and how many how many defects logged by your how many defects was logged against that requirement. So if you look at this is a sample. See.
so does it involve the Jira or QDB as well, or it's just
Yeah, but no, it's just usually it's a spreadsheet, or in basically in Quality Center they have it in Jira package. They have something. See, these are the requirements. B are requirement one, business requirement two. These use case, and these are the functional requirements and functional use case. But and you wrote cases against it. So all you're doing is to seeing that you have all the requirements. This is
okay.
an app like this would be sub app. This would be user stories, user scenarios, and then your cases. See, this is SDLC, and all they're doing is changing the names into an agile. That's it.
Okay. So basically, this is out of QDB.
This is not. This is Excel spreadsheet. It's not IP. It's a spreadsheet that they did in.
I see. I see. Right. So about the defects in there, where do you get the defects in there?
So it's another
You know,
column. You just
you
add
know
another
they they
column.
they
Hmm.
they ask me questions as if they don't know nothing about it, and they have no
Well, that's
idea at all.
that's the thing. It's to interview you, see if you know.
So
You know.
that's what puts me off. I mean, that's That's what
You can't get pissed
gets me
off.
bogged down.
You have
Yeah.
to keep your temper. Keep your temper. But the thing is, you tell yourself, you know everything, right? Now you're talking from your imagination, right? And you will not this process. This you will not have this process. All once you get to the job, you'll have to do it. Once you get to the job, this doesn't matter. They're not going to ask you the same question anymore. Once you get to the job, right now they're the gatekeeper, and as soon as you
Yeah.
satisfy them, you get to the
Yeah.
job, and that's it. You'll be
I
collecting
mean,
checks, and
I know that's right. That's right. So I know what
but
they're.
right now, since they're the decision maker of you bringing you on board, you have to
Yeah.
satisfy them.
Exactly. Exactly. So they because they have to hire someone and they need to like make sure that once they hire them, they don't really get disappointed or something. So they need to
Right.
make sure that
I'm going.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It says, and also it falls under them. See, this breaks everything down. All the main points. I'm going to send you this document. This talks about what's in a test plan. What is software testing? Testing life cycle, IBMB, independent. That's another methodology. Iterative spiral methodology. So there's so many methodologies. Most of the companies are using Scrum because
Okay.
what Scrum is. Scrum has less drawback compared to what waterfall and iterative methodology has. I'm gonna send you this right now, okay? Also,
Okay.
so just do some when you do this interview. Every interview is supposed to make you strong.
Yeah, yeah,
When
that's
you
what it is. Yeah,
when you get the
because
interview,
in my first interview, it didn't really last for like more than 5 minutes. The first interview, and then in the second interview, that went for like 15 minutes, and the third interview
but
that was like 20 minutes. So it's like getting better, better, better. So
and you're gonna get better at interview. Are you okay? Join Monday and come to work on Monday, and you'll be like, okay, you'll be happy. Not gonna have this issue, man. You'll be fine. This is it's just it's a process. I know, I was in your shoe. It's hard. It's not easy because you study so much. But you're getting interview. You see, there's so many jobs. You just have to crack. You have to become right only one time. You don't have to be right every taking.
right, right, right.
So that's the
I
thing.
was also thinking one thing. Once they give me interview, you give the interview on behalf of me, and then I'll just go do the job. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I could, but they'll know voice. These people you work with, I could give them on the telephone, but most of the time after telephonic, they do an person. But
Yeah,
take few interviews by yourself, learn, and if too bad, you get an interview. I could take one for you. So if I take one,
uh,
I'll most likely crack. Even sometimes I take an interview, I don't crack it either, because either maybe the
yeah,
guy doesn't like my name, he doesn't like my voice. There's so much. You're not gonna get even if you just because you work doesn't mean you'll get all the interview. That's what's called an interview.
exactly,
They're
exactly.
selective. They make the
Right.
selections, not you. They shortlist you. They shortlist your resume, and and then after you do the interview, they make a decision if they want to bring you on board or not. There's so many times I did interviews, they didn't like me. They didn't like me for certain reasons. It wasn't the
Exactly.
technical questions. It's not always the,
Yeah.
if they ask me a question, I could answer it easily, like one, two, three. There's exactly, I could elaborate and give them details, technical answers, but it's not a stop the recording. So do you want to include anything else?
Yeah. One more question. Like when we talk about I perform GUI, smoke, functional regression.